Hey friends, welcome. This is the video edition for episode 326. Commentary based on the follow-through episode of Speechless on ABC. Go to specialchronicles.com/speechlessabc to get all the subscription information for this commentary podcast. And our guest co-host Sarah K. Perkins returns, but she is not on camera. I see her on the little Skype window, but all of you viewers will not. So the audio podcast will be posted in a few weeks in the new year. And if you look on the graphic to the left of me, top left or top right, I don't know how you guys see it. But that Speechless graphic and that link, specialchronicles.com/speechlessabc, is on that graphic. It's also linked in the description for this live video below, or wherever that is. So, I hate allergies, but we're going to run with this show. And so, I might have to, mute myself. Just a little heads up, though. Can you say something so we can just...
Yeah, are you good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good. Okay. Okay, here we go back to the audio clips on the iPad. This time I have everything all set up, people, so this time if we make a mistake, all the viewers will see. You probably see behind me, Sarah / review will see some sticky notes on the wall behind me. Do you see that?
Does it say plug everything in?
It doesn't, but it should. Well, no, but if it's behind me, it will do no good, right? Oh,
Well, that depends. I don't know how you do your pre-show.
that's helpful. I just got a text from my dentist. That showed up on the phone and the iPad, and in a minute it's going to show up on the computer, so yippee. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Whoops. Hold on. It was... See what now everybody, usually when people listen to us, they don't see that that they don't see all the mistakes and all the multiple intros we do, but now people can see that. I forgot to plug in the I was wondering why I couldn't hear. I forgot to plug in the iPad into the thing. That sounds a little bit better, right? Okay. Believe it or not, folks, I have been doing this for 10 years, so... Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
You're still ready?
Yep.
Oh, and it's still recorded. Okay, let's try that again.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
You're listening to episode 326 of the Special Chronicles show. This week on Special Chronicles, our co-host Sarah K. Perkins returns to talk about the follow-through episode of Speechless on ABC. It's coming up right now on specialchronicles.com.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Podcasting since 2008, this is the show where we're broadcasting disability stories from an insider's perspective, and we are giving a voice to people with special needs. This is your weekly guide to finding joy, acceptance, and inclusion. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome back to the Special Chronicles show. My name is Daniel, and I am your host and founder of Special Chronicles. So good to be back behind the mic, and joining us back on the, well, first, let me just say, if you guys hear me going like that, I'm not on anything. Except if you say nasal spray. So my allergies are acting up, so I apologize if I have to, either mute myself or go like that. Please don't worry. I'm glad this is just audio or video, and you guys are not in the same studio as me right now. So I'm not sick. I'm just, But joining us back on the show, the always able to follow through, Sarah K. Perkins. Welcome back, Sarah.
Well, yeah, I mean, once again, to get this podcast going was not easy, so.
No. Do we want to pull back the curtain and tell our viewers about...
No, let's just pretend that didn't happen, and we'll just keep going.
Let's pretend that's not going to happen. Oh, that didn't happen. Because you guys do not want to hear our show, text message to show prep, so... it's all awesome today. On one of the final days of 2018, but you guys are, if you guys are watching this live right now, this is the first time, Sarah, that we are actually doing this commentary on Facebook Live, so people they can't see you, but they can hear you, and they can see me, and we've got a logo on the top left, and the Speechless logo on the top right, and we've got the hashtag Special Chronicles bottom right, so it all looks official. And if people comment, we can even pull those comments onto the live video, and so anyways, a little bit of software I did have to pay for there, but it's all good. It's all for the listeners and viewers. We hope. But Sarah, what's the topic today, or do you want me to tell the awesome listeners?
Well, I mean, I think, as usual, we'll just have to see how this whole thing evolves, because, like I told you, I've changed my mind about the episode topic, the episode topic really was, 3 times. Yeah,
so let's remind our listeners once again, if they are just tuning in now, and they missed our intro, we are talking about the follow-through episode of Speechless Season 3. We don't know the episode number off the top of our heads, but we will put that in the show notes on SpecialChronicles.com. So, and by the way, Sarah / all of you viewers and listeners, did you notice that we have a new website now? I put up a new theme on the website.
I saw you posted it, I didn't look at it.
Yeah, so I thought, well, it's probably time to kind of, update that site a little bit, so why not? So, with that being said...
I'm looking up the episode title.
Oh, the number you mean?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
what I meant. Let me know
when
then...
You know what I meant. It was episode 7 of season 3.
Okay, so it's season 3, episode 7, you said?
Yep, and it was of all the episodes they've done, it was episode 48.
Okay, 48 of all the episodes. And why?
Which doesn't make sense. It should be 47, or this should have been episode 8. I don't know. But that's just me being a little OCD about that whole thing.
And why do we need to know the total episode number?
I don't know, because that's on Wikipedia.
Okay. Well, okay. Awesome. So, with that being said...
Because Google said so. Okay.
Okay. We'll go.
That's
fine. But Sarah, you do know that we have access to the press page for Speechless on ABC, right?
Yeah, but you look at that, I don't.
Okay, fine.
It's like I do the show notes and you don't.
Well, okay, you
we don't do each other's job.
You do the show notes for all commentaries. I do the show notes for all the other podcasts that we produce. So, I think it kind of evens out a little bit, maybe.
We attempt to not step on each other's toes more than we already do while recording. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah. Okay, so this episode, follow-through, JJ has a checklist that he tries to complete before going to college. However, the items on it seem unrealistic, like making coffee. Why was this a bad episode, and why? And what could make it a more realistic but still funny episode. I think this is something that we maybe both agree with by it being unrealistic. Is this one of those episodes, Sarah, that we both agree with, or are you going to disagree?
I think overall, yeah. I think we do overall. I said to you, I think the episode was mostly about Kenneth. It wasn't about... Well, no, the episode, I think, as a whole, was about the family's inability to follow through on anything. Mm-hmm. Which is not surprising. I don't think they'd beat the DeMayos if they didn't let the ball drop about 19 times.
Yeah.
But, like, JJ hasn't prepped himself for college. Mm-hmm. I don't know why making coffee was on that list, because I don't even think he drinks coffee, but...
No, and I think he even said that in the episode that he doesn't drink coffee.
And if you're going to college, there's like, okay, literally, on a college campus, how many coffee shops or ways to get coffee are there on a college campus?
Yeah, so...
You don't need to make coffee.
No, you don't. You don't have to make... I mean, yes, it might cost you, $1 or $2, but still, if you think about it, you really don't have to make coffee. / what college student has time to make coffee in the morning?
Right, it's more like, okay, learning to make coffee, not really essential to life. Learning how to pay bills, that's kind of more essential.
Yeah.
So,
now, I mean, unless you lived in your own apartment, then you might want to learn how to make coffee, but...
Yeah, but even then, if you think about it, not to be nitpicky, but how many people have a Keurig? Which is like, put the little thing in the little basket and press the button. No, but I'm saying, like, you didn't have to use that archaic coffee pot to make coffee.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, it is the DeMayos, so they do have all these old stuff, correct? No?
Yes. But if he's going away to college, which we're assuming he won't be living at home.
But, now...
because Kenneth won't be his aide.
Well, another thing...
it's been alluded to.
And this might be going off topic, so you can steal me back onto the topic if you want. But this episode makes it seem like Kenneth is not going to be JJ's aide in college. Now, is this totally unrealistic that... And I mean, at least for me, I think it was, and I don't know about you and any of the listeners, but when you go to college... Do you have the same aid that you had in high school, or do you have a totally different aid?
I think it depends.
Yeah, and I
mean, there are state regulations, there are federal regulations. There are, like, if you're going away to school to another state, there are different rules.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I
don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, and I think, it kind of goes into something else that we might have brought up in a show prep, and that is, it's when it comes to college lists, but even when it comes to having the same AA that you had in high school and in college and all that, it's on an independent basis. I mean, it kind of goes back to, I think, what we talked about a couple of weeks ago. The IEP, it's an individual education plan, and I think it's the same thing like with college lists. It's each college list or each aid or whatever, it's on an individual basis. So whether one person might need it, so that's what it'd be interesting to see if they get picked up for season 4 of Speechless, and 2, if they have, if they keep Kenneth on the show. And 2, they might find a way to like make Kenneth the JJ's aide in college, and if they do, could that be more realistic?
Well, I have some ideas of how the first couple of episodes in the 4th season, if there is a 4th season, is going to go.
Let's save that for let's save that for the fourth season, and maybe if we can bring John Ross Belly back on the show, which, folks, if you missed that, so I'll put that in the show notes. you guys can go back and listen to that conversation with John. But even if we have another cast member or creator or writer or on the show, then maybe we can kind of get some insight on that. / Zach Anno, who is a comedian, famous comedian with CP, which I want to. So I've been trying to find Zach's book because I read / listened to half of it and I want to finish it. But this is kind of going off topic briefly. But I was at my great aunt's 90th birthday a couple months ago, and one of my great aunt's nieces, we were sitting in the living room, and she told me, she asked if I knew of Zach Anno. So I guess, I mean, he does have a lot of fans, right?
Well, he was on Oprah.
Yeah, and
so I mean, the Oprah effect is the thing.
Yeah, and his YouTube channel, I think, has tons of subscribers and viewers, and I don't know, in the millions of viewers. So he is, you know. So yeah, so maybe we can even bring up some of those season 4 prediction next year if they get picked up. But with that being said, maybe we can kind of move back on topic and talk a little bit about why this was a bad episode, and then move into what could make it more realistic, but still funny. Because I think that's something even that John talked about when he was on this program, is that, and something that we also do at Special Chronicles, as well as what they do at Speechless, is we try to make these programs, we try to make these episodes funny and realistic without it being a disability show. I mean, yes, people might see Speechless as that disability sitcom on ABC. People might see Special Chronicles as this disability platform or program. But really, I think we really don't want it to be, if that makes any sense. And so maybe how can... Well, first off, why was this a bad episode? Do you want to take that first, or do you want me to kind of go with that?
You can go, and I'll see what I agree with or not.
Okay. So, first off, we kind of touched on it a little bit before, and so why was this a bad episode? I think mostly because just of how crazy JJ's list was, and I think it just didn't really make sense with some of the items that JJ or anyone with a disability needs to prepare for college. I think they could have done a lot better job with making it funny, with making it more realistic than what they did. I don't know what the ratings were, so you were just looking up the Wikipedia earlier.
It was lower than it was the week before.
Okay, so
it was a 2.02 million viewers.
Okay, so I wonder how that is in the overall scope of season 3. I mean, you know, but anything that you want to jump off there, Sarah?
I mean, it was just numbers wise, it was one of the lower rated
episodes
of this season. Don't make me go back and compare all of them, because that's too many numbers.
Well, it's like 48 episodes if you combine all the seasons.
Right.
Fall, so. And
I'm not going to scroll through the whole page to look at it.
No.
But and numbers and me remembering them are not my forte.
Well, me either. So listeners and viewers, don't make us do math on it, because that's not going to work out. So, and that's why we we're writers and podcasters, and why we're communicating through this way instead of through numbers. So that's what you get my brother-in-law to do. We'll have him come on the show and give us the speechless by numbers. Okay.
That would be a boring episode.
For us, but for somebody who likes numbers, I mean, he might be, so fascinated. I don't know.
Okay, anyway.
Okay. Anyways, back on topic. So do you want to jump off on what you agree or disagree with what I said, /
Well, I mean, I agree. It was a bad episode, and I think I pointed that out to you first. Really? Is this really that good of an episode? Okay, so while he's making coffee, he gets a flat tire in his wheelchair, which kind of didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, how can you get a flat tire?
Well, and honestly, I think that type of wheelchair has sturdy enough tires that glass wouldn't necessarily puncture them as easily. And I don't think a tire would deflate like that type of tire, but granted, I'm not a tire person. I just know when my wheelchair tire is low in air and then I fill it up and that's it. Rather than learning how to make coffee, if he's going away to college and he's going to have to handle his wheelchair repairs himself, it's like, instead of learn how to make coffee, how about find someone to do my wheelchair repairs when needed, close by.
Speaking of that, though, I don't know, it's kind of, someone goes off topic, but kind of going on the wheelchair. Just for our viewers, Sarah is the one who's in a wheelchair. I am the one with a non-wheelchair disability. That makes sense. But when I was at the Abilities Expo a couple years ago, one of the booths I went up to, and I did an impromptu. I didn't have any press credentials because it's a free event, but I did a live podcast and column there. And one of the booths I talked to was this. I think it's called Frog Legs. I don't know, Sarah, have you heard of them?
I have them.
Oh, you do?
Yep.
Yeah, so
they're my front casters.
Yeah, so they showed me a little bit how that worked.
They sponsor the wheelchair, and not like they need any more business in this area, having personally used it. But at the Abilities Expo, they have a wheelchair repair booth, and they repair things for free. Yeah. So, and Frog Legs usually sponsors it, having gone to them a couple of times. It's gotten to the point where they've gotten so busy that the other wheelchair, not manufacturers, we'll just say that, bring their own tools to do free repairs. So, because that's how popular it's gotten.
So, would you recommend them if any of our listeners need to get the wheelchair fixed?
Frog Legs or the wheelchair repair thing?
Well, both.
Well, Frog Legs is the company that makes casters. So they sell casters only.
Can we put that in the show notes?
Yeah. They have, I don't know if it's one of their techs, I don't even know. It's one of those things where, like, once you kind of learn to repair your own chair the best you can, because a lot of repairs aren't covered by insurance. Which is another thing that should have been on JJ's list, but again, that could have been a whole other episode of what wheelchair repair needs to be run through insurance and what doesn't. Like, a battery would probably need to be run through insurance. Like, if I needed, like, a new tire, I've already been told, don't run it through insurance because they will not cover it. So, yeah, that's called you go online and look. But, I mean, as far as the frog leg casters go, the ones I have aren't the ones I wanted originally, but I like the ones I have.
Okay. So, with that being said, kind of going back on topic here, did you want to continue with?
So, it wasn't practical in that respect of, like, you kind of have to think of, like, a wheelchair like a car. Like, if you're going to bring a car to college, you have to figure out where you're going to get it repaired if necessary, which I know most people don't do. Because I had a bunch of friends who even, like, I've had friends that ship their cars across country to bring them to campus. And then even to get the car washed, they didn't know where to, well, people can, I'm sorry, not to, like, burst people's bubble here. You can get through life without a car, unless you live, like, where Father Corey lives in the middle of nowhere, Montana, then you kind of need a car. But most places you don't really need a car. You need your wheelchair. There's not like you don't get two wheelchairs. There's not like a backup chair and a,
Well, and if you live in a big city like we do, well, two different big cities, I'll say that. Chicago for me, and you're closer to Boston.
Yeah, between Boston and New York.
So since
I'm big city adjacent.
And I'm big city land.
You're in the suburbs.
Suburbs of
big city.
But still, I don't know how it happened, but so thanks to my aunt's recommendation, I just got a reduced fail, one of those reduced fail payment cards.
Yeah.
Apparently, we thought that my disability didn't qualify for this reduced fail, for like the train and bus and everything.
Well, they do. I think it depends on the state, but you can get a reduced fare if you're like over a certain age, under a certain age, or
but
you must use public transportation as your mode of transportation. Like if you can't drive a car or you can't get that kind of thing.
So I have a disability state ID card. And all I had to do, this was so simple, we went down to the city hall in Chicago, and where else, right? Okay, and so all I had to do was show them my state ID, my disability state ID card, and the application was just one page, had to fill it out, they took a picture, and a week later, I got my reduced fare card. So, which we
should say, in terms of, and I know this from being in Chicago a fair amount, and from other people I know that have lived in Chicago, in terms of accessing services, for Disability Chicago, I don't think necessarily the state of Illinois, but Chicago is much more disability friendly. Than other states. Like mine, if I got a reduced fare card, and I wouldn't take the buses around here. I mean, I think I do it maybe like once a year, if that, because it's just not worth it. Big city, yes. Is it worth public transportation? No. But like if I tried to get a reduced fare card, it is several pages of application. You need to provide doctor's notes and all that other business, and then it takes like months to process it. So it's not even worth the red tape to get the reduced fare. Which is another thing that they could have probably addressed in the episode.
And on that,
how are you going to get around campus?
Yeah, and on that, a friend that I've never met, but you have from the Accessible stall, maybe we can put a link to this episode that they did. They're talking about something about like these pins with the MTA in New York City.
Oh, that was the dumbest idea ever.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it was fun. Okay, so like to give the listeners a background thing.
Yeah.
In New York, and the details are not all correct, or as detailed as they could be. I'm giving you kind of a flyover. Mm-hmm. So there was an argument made that if you have a disability, people don't give up their seat to you on public transportation, like it always says in a bunch of buses, like, if disabled or elderly, please give up your seat to people. It says it in the Chicago buses, it says it in the New York buses, it says it in, I think, most metropolitan areas, it says it. But if your disability isn't as obvious, you would get this pin that says, please offer me your seat. I'm sorry, the fact that you're wearing a pin isn't going to make, okay, I'm going to swear, but it's on purpose, is not going to make a jackass who does not care make them want to give up their seat. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it was a cute, in air quotes, idea. Mm-hmm. It wasn't realistic.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But
I mean, and it kind of became a joke to a lot of people in the disability community.
So,
like, okay, let me get my button.
So, can you find that episode that they did on that?
Yeah.
All right. Which we've got to have. What are their names? Kyle and Emily.
Kyle and Emily.
We should have them we should have a full a crossover episode with all four of us. Do you think that would be? That might be a little. That might get a little crazy.
They record at like 10 o'clock at night. I'm not staying up that late.
I'm not staying up that late. So see,
you're an hour ahead, or you're an hour behind everybody else.
Okay. Yeah.
You wouldn't have to stay up that late.
Oh yeah, I guess true. But so they record at 10 o'clock at night. We record at 9 o'clock in the morning. I think there's a to do a crossover episode. There's a big difference with
that alone isn't going to work. But yeah, I mean,
but back on topic.
But yeah, I mean, and it's funny, but it's not funny. But like getting ready for college, everybody goes, "Oh, you should go do this to access these services. It's really easy. A friend of mine did it." Well, it's never as easy as somebody tells you it's going to be.
No.
And in that aspect, it's frustrating in the moment, but then it's like 37 more times comical after the fact, when like people with disabilities, especially limited mobility related disabilities, compare stories. That's when it becomes funny. When you're comparing sort of like, oh yeah, that was worse for you. Oh well, that was funny. How would that happen? Like, oh yeah, I can see that happen. Kind of thing. Yeah. So I think that could have made it funny, because it's one of those things like that joke that they made some earlier season of like, being disabled is expensive. It's almost not even worth being disabled. Yeah. And JJ laughed. Then everybody else laughed and realized like, oh, that would be that actually is a funny joke.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I don't know. It was aggravating to me that making coffee really doesn't, to go back to JJ's list, doesn't necessarily lay the groundwork for going to college. Mm-hmm. You can have a friend make him coffee. You can have a friend get him coffee. Like, hey, help me find somewhere to get my wheelchair repaired. I mean, most of my friends don't even know that, except now I have a friend who's a mechanic, a car mechanic, and I jokingly went, oh yeah, you want to just be my wheelchair mechanic? And he said he'd do it. So that works for me.
So with that being said, so I think we kind of touched on a little bit how, just for the sake of time, on why that was a bad episode.
I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good.
Yeah. So,
which I think we said a lot in the first season. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good.
Relates. I don't know if that relates to like the viewership numbers, but it might have something to do with it. I don't know. And with that being said, what could have made it a more realistic but still funny episode?
Well, like I said, you could have had like JJ go fill out, the forms to get, like you said, a reduced fare bus pass, let's say. And
all the funny things
let's
that
say, and all the funny things that happen. Like, what was that episode when Ray tried to build that playground? Mm-hmm. And all that paperwork that he and Dylan had to go from this desk to that desk to that desk back to this. Okay, that was actually more realistic in terms of accessing services for somebody who's disabled. There's a whole bunch of bureaucratic nonsense.
Can we do a quick side note on this discussion and say that episode with Ray and Dylan in the city hall? Where were the parents? Because don't you kind of need like parents to help? I mean, I know they're in high school, but still. They're
the DeMayos. You really think Maya and Jimmy are going to show up?
No, but...
Right.
I mean...
And again, that wouldn't have been as funny. And Maya would have just been Maya and been like, all I want to do is build my son a playground, and she would have thrown a fit.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of storyline purposes, it worked. in terms of practicality, I don't think it would have, because I think
but
you need it.
That's a different episode, so.
Right.
What else can make this more realistic besides... So, like, one was what I suggested, where JJ could go to City Hall and get his reduced fail card.
Right.
What else?
I mean, it's like I don't know how far out he is from college, because you don't know if they're going to time jump or whatever, but
It seems like he's a senior in high school.
Right, but he spent an extra year in school, and he spent an extra year in high school, as they said in the episode. So, I think in doing that, from what I understand from people that do that, they do that in order to kind of put the ducks in a row before they get to college. Mm-hmm. And have a teacher help them do that.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, I feel like the checklist, although he is a DeMeo, I think the checklist, at least from the school's end, could have been with another teacher, could have been done already, or half done, or something.
Yeah. So,
like, he's gonna need a note taker, like.
Yeah, note taker. And I mean, he'll probably also need an aide. So, like, maybe another way to make this more realistic and funnier is, well, first off, I think Kenneth should be JJ's aide in college, just because of how well the two mesh together.
Right.
But that could be a whole nother episode.
But I think he's going to try, I'm just going to put it out there right now. I think what's going to happen, just for a story purpose, because if you think about it, they can't have JJ go, quote unquote, off to college or away to college, because then it wouldn't be a family show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they can't just have him, like, pop in on the weekends. No. So I think he's going to have another aide or nothing and start off school, and then him and Kenneth are going to, to use a relationship metaphor, get back together.
Yeah. Well, and it kind of on that, this could be kind of going off, but I'm thinking, like, for this episode, another way, while this could be more realistic but still funny, is, well, JJ could interview potential aide candidates, and Kenneth. Sorry, I should have got some more water. So I'm. Now you know why I keep water in the studio. For this reason why. So, sorry. Now you know why. Okay, so what I was trying to say there, before I had a cough attack. So, with that being said, like, if JJ interviews potential aide, can hold on. Sorry, hold on.
I was like, don't choke to death.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought I could get through that. So, with that being said, a way of how I think, if Kenneth is still in the room when JJ's interviewing, as his aide, as I say, quote unquote voice for JJ, I think that could still be funny, because here's Kenneth sitting with JJ, interviewing people to take Kenneth's place when JJ's in college, and I think that there could be some funny, as they say in comedy, some funny bits that could come, right? Isn't that a thing in comedy?
Yeah.
Is a bit, yeah. So there could be some funny bits that could come from that, and I think that could be more realistic, plus still be, equally, if not more, funny of an episode. So, see, Speechless should have not just Zach Anno as a writer, but they should have both of us as writers on the show, right?
Well, I think their challenges, and this may be because I'm looking at the ratings.
Okay.
So, I think their challenge may be now. I don't know if it was at the beginning. I think their challenge may be now how to make it, like, still a family show, like a family sitcom, like they want. But highlight the disability aspects. Because, like, all the non-disabled friends I have, started watching it to see how they would bring the disability part into it, and then they were like, this is dumb, I'm not watching it anymore. Because either the family aspect wasn't there enough for them or too much, or vice versa with the disability aspect. So that may be why they're losing viewership. It could also be because this episode, first aired around the Christmas. Well, I'm not even going to say the Christmas season, because I don't even like how Christmas starts, like, right after Halloween.
Yeah.
The Advent season.
Wait, is that when this episode aired?
Yeah. It aired in December. The beginning of December.
Okay.
So that also could be why people weren't watching it. But anyway.
True.
I think their challenge is going to be, from now on, how to balance because they want it to be a family show with a disability aspect.
Yeah.
I think some people in disability want to see more disability.
Yeah.
And the able-bodied might want to see more family. So how do you bridge that?
Yeah. And how do you balance it?
Yeah.
And because I think, at least within our disability community, there's a lot of people that either see themselves in the DeMaio, see themselves in JJ, and they want to see themselves. I think this is a big topic within our disability community, not just on Speechless, but TV and media overall. But let's use Speechless as an example. Is they see themselves, they see ourselves, we see ourselves within these characters. And to see
Well, I think you want to. I think that's the hope that you see yourself. I think when you don't, I think there are two types of people. People that go to TV to find themselves in TV. And when you don't, you get disappointed. There are also types of people who go to TV to not find themselves in TV. And when they find themselves in TV, that makes them uncomfortable or, it's not the escape that they wanted, and then they turn it off. So. Yeah.
So, with that being said, anything else, Sarah, that you want to, because we're at about 38 minutes in the code-in time.
Good.
Okay. So that being said, let's get to our favorite segment / why do I keep saying email a fun Pat going? I need to just maybe after we're done recording.
I put it in the show notes. You can't blame me.
I know I can't blame you. So maybe after, what I should do is I just go into my email after the show today, email Pat and say, by the way, I
put it in the show notes. I bolded it, I italicized it, and I highlighted it, and you still haven't done it.
Okay, I will. I think you just need to email me now. No, maybe not. Okay. Well, with that being
so the listeners know I've done everything possible to facilitate the you emailing Pat, except for emailing her myself, and you still have not done it.
I know. I need to just do it. Okay. With that being said, it's yours and all favorite segment, Picks of the Week. Sarah, do you want to go first? Because I saw that you have a link.
I would say because you still don't have a pick.
Well, I mean, somewhat, halfly. Does that count?
Okay. So I found this is a while, well, no, it wasn't that long ago. On Catholic Mom, there was an article called Is She Going to College? And it's about how, and it's from either one or two of Catholic Mom contributors. I don't really know how Catholic Mom works. You know how that works better than I do.
They're contributors. I used to be a contributor, but then I kind of got busy with other
dropped
things.
off the face of the earth.
Yes.
So the one or both parents, I don't really know who contributed this article specifically, but because of the way it's stamped, it's by the mother and the father. And they're talking about, was their daughter ever going to go to college? Because their idea was when she was little, like, what's your expectation for your daughter? When they were asked by somebody when she was being assessed. And they said to go to college. Mm-hmm. And then they had to adjust their expectations because their daughter was as they put it, not going to be able to live an independent life away from them. So they had to adjust their expectations of how she wasn't going to go to college, which I think applies to anybody, disability or not, in terms of college. Of can you, like, for example, I have a friend who's completely able-bodied. She did not want to go away to school. She wanted to live at home. She wasn't ready to live away from her parents. There was no physical, mental reason why she couldn't. Whereas, like, if there was a University of Antarctica, I would have applied. And if I got in, I would have gone. Like, I wanted nothing else to do than to get away from my family. That was, like, priority number one. So it just kind of highlights the, not to kind of go contradictory to our episode, the idea that not everybody has to go to college. That doesn't have to be the expectation for everybody. Because it's not necessarily the right fit for everybody.
Okay.
So your turn.
That link will be in the show notes on SpecialChronicles.com for you guys all to go check out. My pick of the week that I just kind of thought of. So I did put another link in the show notes, but we'll also include that. But my pick of the week is going to be this disability college training video that I produced for the disability office where I graduated from at Roosevelt University in Chicago. And this was a video that I produced for their office to where they had others with disabilities talking about like what services they need and what they want to hear from their professors and peers when it comes to their disability. And so it's about, I believe, a 1 to 2 minute training video. No, way, I take that back. I think it's more like 17 or 20 minutes. Yeah, it's like a 17 or 20 minute training video. And it's, so I set up the camera and I sat next to the camera and I took out like me asking the questions. So it was like a black screen with the question and then them just answering the question. But I edited it in such a way that I only took like the best parts of their answers. So it's, so that's my pick of the week is if you want to go. I know it's like it's a shameless pick of the week, but shameless plug, but go check that out if you want to kind of get an idea of what some with disabilities, what they want to get from their fellow students, or from their professors, kind of how they want to be perceived on a college campus. And I think it can apply not just to that one particular university, but I think it's something that can apply across the country, maybe even across the globe, no matter what college you go to. So that's my pick of the week. Good pick of the week, Sarah?
Well, yeah, I'll go with you. I haven't seen the video, but we'll go with yes.
Okay. So I'll put that link in the show notes, so Sarah, you can check that out when I put that in, as well as all of you listeners can check it out on SpecialChronicles.com. The other brief plug I'd like to make is for this, if you want to hear first-hand stories of individuals with disabilities who have graduated from college. I believe all the people I profiled have now graduated. Actually, there was a couple of stories on there of I think at least one person who is currently in college. But if you go to, you can check out our Next Level series on SpecialChronicles.com/Next Level series, and to hear first-hand college stories of people with disabilities who have graduated or are currently in college. It started as like one of my last journalism projects, my last semester of college. So like that's if you kind of go back to like some of those first stories back at those audio, video, and written stories, but it kind of goes back to the end of 2012, and so some of that is from this college, and since then I've kind of evolved into what it is. I kind of brought it like into more podcast form, so which I'm sure you can totally relate. If something starts out as a college project, then you can kind of evolve and add to it in the future.
Well, isn't that kind of what you do at the end of your college career? What can I take a project and turn it into something for me afterwards.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
who really wants to get a job after college?
Yeah.
Like, really?
So you can check out that link, and then briefly, so you put it's in the show notes, and I'll have to remember to put this link in there. But if folks want to, next 4 years I will be traveling the globe as a Southern Shriver International Global Messenger for Special Olympics. Or with Special Olympics, I'm not sure the correct preposition to put there, but you can,
Whatever, it's in the show notes.
it's in the show notes. You can subscribe. You can get the updates sent to your email. You go on to specialchronicles.com/SSIGMJournal. You can subscribe to that particular email list and get those updates. And the hashtag we're going to use is Special Chronicles SSIGM. I think that's what it is. I don't know. The information will be in the show notes, so you can click on the link to subscribe and get those updates. And then if you want to join our movement, Full Circle Inclusion, the right and ability to make our dreams come true, you can check out this, intro episode, kind of defining what it is. It's really episode 00 of a video series we hope to produce next year. And so that video link will be in the show notes as well. And that being said, we should remind our listeners before we get to our personal plugs. Well, first off, if you want to follow Special Chronicles, follow hashtag Special Chronicles. If you're watching our Facebook Live video, that's been at the bottom of the video screen this entire episode. But you can also follow at Special Chronicles on the Instagram and Facebook, and Twitter at Special C Podcast. And make sure to leave us your 5-star ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you can tweet us your questions with the hashtag Special Chronicles. And with that being said, first off, Sarah, where can people listen or watch Speechless on ABC?
Wherever their TV guide says to.
Okay, that's one. But I was trying to get...
I DVR it now, so I don't even really know when it's on.
Okay, well, you can follow along what John Waswelli says. You can stream it on demand anytime on abc.com. You can also watch Speechless on Hulu and on iTunes, I believe. You can also get Speechless. And all those links will be on specialchronicles.com/speechlessabc. If you look on the live video, that is in the graphic to the right or left, the top of the screen. Just look on the top of the screen. You can see that link is there. And yeah. So with that being said, where can people follow you on the social media or on the interwebs?
Just go to sarahkperkins.com. There will be a link in the show notes. Everything's there.
Awesome. And you can follow me at Podmandan, PODMANDAN at Podmandan. And SpecialChronicles.com is the only place that you can follow me. And yeah. So, do we have any upcoming episodes, Sarah? Commentary-wise? Movie, TV,
No.
Commentary-wise? Actually, why do we say movie and TV? Isn't it mostly just TV commentary?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think we've mentioned movies, but I don't think we've...
Yeah, I think there was one episode where we did mention some movies. I forgot which episode it was. But yeah, we've got some more exciting things. Oh, and I forgot to briefly mention our sponsors. Let's see if I can do this should I try to do this off the top of my head, Sarah? Top of my head, mention our sponsors?
Sure.
Okay, so first off, this episode is sponsored by the Jenny and PJ Fortnell Foundation, and also sponsored by Goldman Sachs, a financial institution. And we're proud to partner with the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd's already powering lives and powering us here at Special Chronicles, specialchronicles.com/ComEd. And by all you individual donators, supporters, go to specialchronicles.com/give, specialchronicles.com/give. You can donate and support us. We greatly appreciate it. Can you believe I did that all from the top of my head? I did not have any script in front of me. And so, I know, it's amazing, right? You say it enough times that you just kind of know that. And yet, I still need that intro script. So. But with that being said, why do I keep saying that? Anything else, Sarah, that we forgot to mention?
No. We're good.
Okay.
Until next time.
We don't know what commentary is going to be next, but you guys stay tuned, stay subscribed, follow us, and pretty soon we'll have to put a map up to find out where I'm going to be, kind of like our friend Lisa Henry. But anyways, we hope you all have enjoyed this commentary. Remember, I forgot to mention, you can. Where is it? Oh, there we go. Hold on. You can text in your comments. I forgot to put that on the screen. You can text in your comments to feedback@specialchronicles.com. Feedback@specialchronicles.com. If you want to text in your comments, you can do that anytime. Okay. There we go. Had to get that plug in there. So, Sarah, what were you going to say? Until what?
It's like, until next time, whenever that is.
Until next time, choose to include. It would help to get you click the button. Can you say that again, Sarah?
What? Until next time? I've said it 3 times.
Until next time, choose to include.
Special Chronicles. Giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Audio stopped. 53 minutes, Sarah. I think that's good enough, right?
Yep.
I think. Oh, you want me to stop the live video?
Yes.
Okay, stop. You guys, take care. See you next time.